Here. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our new show. Obviously, I know you guys know who I am. You've known me from the Nick Files. You know me from Supernatural Talk, and now most recently the 13th Dimension. However, obviously, I'm not the official host of this new show, so we got obviously someone who's not only started his own first podcast, but also his first starting a show ever here on the Things Network. So with that being said, I would like to welcome one of my best friends who I've known since childhood, Mr. Don Elmi. Don, I got to tell you really quickly, it's a pleasure having you on. Well, I'm so excited for your first show ever, and most importantly, welcome to the Things Network.
Thank you.
How you doing tonight?
Yeah, just excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I got to ask then, what are we going to be discussing about tonight?
Tonight we are discussing the first season of what I consider to be the absolute best show on Netflix, Stranger Things.
Sweet. Well, in that case, Don, from this point on, you have the floor.
Yep. So Stranger Things, Nick, pays a lot of basically a huge love letter to people who grew up in the '80s and and just everyone who loves all the pop culture of the '80s, whether it was the movies, the shows. There's so much to love about it.
Oh, it's just such a not only a throwback, but also a very big nostalgia for that type of genre, especially because it's something that, with the exception of this show, you don't really see that anywhere else, like with any movies or television shows, especially with what everybody uses nowadays is nothing but full on CGI and modern day techniques. But Stranger Things, to me, it really does, go back to the old fashioned kind of way of how horror movies used to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like when it comes to creature features, like the whole supernatural aspects. Yeah, like this, because they really just, and not only on top of that, they also nailed the whole culture of the '80s, like how people dressed, how people talked, the way they wore their hair.
Those are the '80s, man. Even though we never lived through, I mean, we lived through the '90s, but man, sometimes when you watch stuff like that, it just makes you wish that you lived in the '80s instead.
Yeah, we're both '90s kids, so so it's a bit before our time.
Definitely. Oh, you got a good compliment here, Don, from Jeremy.
Feels like you're watching a show from the '80s. Yes, Jeremy, that is absolutely true. It's really got that feel to it. Yeah, there's so much to love about it. The nostalgia and the characters. The characters are amazing. Nick, what is your favorite character from the show?
It's kind of a tough question, to be honest, for me, because yes, I'm definitely behind. I've managed to complete the first full season, but I got to get through the other seasons. Although I started working my way up with season 2, but I would probably say, at least for now, this could change. My favorite in the series so far has to be. It's actually kind of two characters. It's either the sheriff or 11.
Oh, Hopper or 11. I know there's so many good characters. It's hard to just stick with just one favorite.
I know, but and it's just there's in this case with 11, there's just so much more that you just really want to know, because obviously, even though I've only gotten through one season and only part of season 2, there's still so much to know about who this kid is.
There's so much mystery behind her character. She's very complex, and that's one of the things I like about her. And her performance by Millie Bobby Brown, it's just amazing. She's a really, really unique actress. And the thing is, I didn't even know she was British until I saw her in an interview, after I watched the first season.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know anything I didn't know she was. Well, yeah, in this day and age, you have a lot of British actors out there.
Oh yeah, it's just that when I heard that her British accent, I was like, whoa, she actually pulled off the American accent on the show so amazingly.
She's great.
Oh yeah, but then again, this isn't the first time I've been impressed by an American accent from a British actor. You look at the Spider-Man movies, Amazing Spider-Man, where Andrew Garfield, he's British, and he plays a New York kid who becomes Spider-Man, and same with Tom Holland.
It's just it's amazing to me how half of these well-known actors and actresses that I mean, unless you heard of them prior to, like whatever these shows or movies they starred in, you probably wouldn't even know half the time expected that they were actually like British actors to begin with, because they just do so well. In
Yep.
fact, you have someone here that Angelio said that he didn't know that she was British.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, hey, if anything, if they were the way they're able to pull off an American accent like that, or it just shows just how the incredible talent they have.
Definitely.
I mean, it's just amazing how what people can just do is with acting, not just with facial expressions, those kinds of performances, getting emotional, but also just the voice.
Yeah.
It's just incredible what these guys can do. But let's see, Angelo Rabea, one of my top subscribers on YouTube. Yes, it is true, Angela. She is British, and I was surprised myself when I first heard her voice when I watched a talk show. I'm trying to remember which talk show it was. I think it was Conan or something like that.
It was one of the two shows that she was at. It was either one or it was one. Yeah, I don't know if it was two, but it was one of a couple of them I know she was in.
Oh yeah, with 11, I just love the character, the way she portrays her, like as this mysterious and yet innocent and yet a force to be reckoned with.
Exactly.
Like, if you get on her bad side.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Brad. Don, you should know about this guy, Brad. He's a frequent fan of our network, of our shows, and he likes to torment me a lot with cockroaches, because all too well I'm terrified of them, and and you're gonna see that happen a lot.
Yeah, what's there like about roaches? They should be wiped out into extinction.
Yeah, see, Brad, check that out. I got a supporter right here.
Yeah, hey, that's why I don't pick up any. You know how when people throw out furniture onto the alleyway, and some people just pick up that furniture? That's not me.
Yep.
It's like, no, thank you. I'd rather buy my own furniture than risk having my condo infested, whatever.
Okay, Sue. Here I'm listening to your podcast, but I can't stay long listening to your podcast because I'm still at work.
Oh, I understand, Angelo. Hey, yeah, you could always watch this right after work. So no worries. You're good.
Yeah, and I got to just say for him, as far as I know, he's our first viewer actually I know he's from the Philippines, if I'm correct. Yep. He's our first viewer from the Philippines to watch any of our shows. So I just got to say for Angelio, welcome. So, yep. And this show will be, as Don said, this show will be recorded. So we'll be on our Things Network channel, and we'll also be on Don's channel as well.
Yes. And let's see. I also forgot to mention about Millie Bobby Brown. I also liked her performances in the Godzilla movies, the MonsterVerse.
Yep, of course. Yeah, you all have to remember she also starred in Godzilla, of course.
Madison, she was great in that, and I gave positive reviews on both films. They're on my YouTube channel.
Oh wow, check that. Yeah. Oh wait a minute, what am I saying? I know I've seen at least one of them.
Oh yeah.
No, he's not talking about you. He's talking about Brad. He can't see Brad on the PC for some reason. So, hey, we got this is Pickle Tom. Don, remember him I told you about?
Yep. This show made me happy. It was quite accurate having been a kid in the 80s that played D&D. Oh yeah, like that's one of the major plot points of the show. The kids, the four boys, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will. They started the show off introduced by playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
And like that's the thing. I never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Neither have I.
Oh yes, Angelo. Angelo, yes. Sorry, we pronounced your name.
Angelo. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, you mispronounced it. Okay, Nick.
That was me. I didn't know that's how his name was pronounced. Sorry. Pickle Nick.
We do apologize. And let's see. Oh yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Like I didn't know too much about it until I saw the show, because I don't know, it wasn't very popular where I grew up. So I mean, I have nothing against the board game by any means. It's just that I just never played it. That's all.
Exactly.
And it also played a huge role because they named the monster in the show after one of the creatures in Dungeons and Dragons, the Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon, yeah, that was a very interesting monster that they used. I mean, it was not like, I was trying to think to myself, because you know me, obviously, for example, like with my cryptid studies and stuff, I thought, what the heck is this thing supposed to be? Is it supposed to be based off of a cryptid or some type of legendary being? I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head until eventually I just had to basically think the fact that they probably just made it for the movie or the show, excuse me.
Yeah,
So that was, but it was really well done, even though it was, what, did they use CGI or did they use an actual costume for that?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they used kind of a combination of both modern CGI and also, old fashioned techniques, which is still, it's nice that they were able to use some of the old fashioned techniques.
Oh yeah, sometimes the old stuff is the best.
It definitely is. All right, so Tom just said I played D&D for like 3 or 4 years. Oh wow, how about that?
Nice.
No, in the new season's Vecna.
Vecna. Yeah, we're only going to stick to the friend. Yeah, like I do like how they named it Vecna. They like that's the thing. They also named the monsters in the show like after the creatures that are featured in Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, we're only going to stick to the first season stuff because Nick hasn't seen season 4 yet. So
we're going from season to season.
Yeah. We will discuss season 2, 3, and 4 soon as well. So, Billy Mount, one of my subscribers. Hey, Billy.
Oh, I like this. What Jill just said.
Love the poster. Yep, I've had this poster for years. My dad gave it to me when I was 12. So all I need to do is get it signed by Spielberg, and I'm all set.
It's probably still gonna be a while before you can make that happen because he's probably a tough person to try to reach out to or try to see it.
Oh yeah, they actually featured this poster on the show on Stranger Things. There was like one scene, like 1 or 2 scenes where there was a Jaws poster in the background.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know what? I do remember that. Yeah.
It was either Will or Jonathan's room. One of those two.
It was one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. Millie Bobby Brown was born in Spain. Yep, that's true. Jeremy, she was born in Spain, but came from a British family. Yeah, I believe she did grow up in the UK. Okay. I think. I believe at least. Yeah, and
text my son to watch on YouTube. He totally loves Stranger Things. Check that out, Don. You might have another watcher soon. You got right now. Get this. You got 13 viewers watching right now. How does that feel for you?
I'm thrilled. Glad to see that people are out here. I think it was
Jonathan's room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Angelo just said this.
Have you heard the news that the next Godzilla Kong will be released in March 2024?
Oh,
Godzilla's 70th anniversary. Hopefully,
no way! I didn't know about that. So that's hopefully Millie Bobby Brown is in that. But man, that'll be an awesome way to honor Godzilla's 70th anniversary. Unbelievable.
And I'm a huge fan of I like I should say that I actually am a big fan of Godzilla movies. Like I have a whole bunch of them right here.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
there's Tom McNicholas.
There's Tom. Hey Tom, what's up? Yeah. So we're discussing Stranger Things. We're looking at the. So do I. Yes, Tom.
That's Tom. If you remember, Tom Nally is the host of This Is Tom's World. So. Right. Yep. Just remember, as he always says, and I do this for him all the time, make sure to like and subscribe. YouTube.com/This Is Tom's World.
And let's see. Oh yeah, let's get back to the characters too. I like let's see, Mike Wheeler. I love the whole chemistry that he and Eleven have. It's the point where they actually do form a relationship in the show. It's just, oh man, it's just like one of those heartwarming parts of the show.
Oh, it definitely is. It really is.
And I like the actor behind Mike, Finn Wolfhard. He's been in quite a few other different horror related content. Like he played Richie in the new It movie.
That's right. That was a good role that he played. It's nice for someone like a kid his age to star again in like 80s, 90s nostalgia. Again, an era that he was never even born or even lived through.
Yeah, they did throw in the exact same formula in It. So, look, the character Max is awesome. Oh yeah, she's in season.
I love the redheads. Billy just said this to you.
You know that Noah Schnapp? Oh, the actor behind Will, Noah Schnapp, auditioned for Mike and Joe Keery. Auditioned for Jonathan Bryers. Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Here's Tom's now. He's linked, by the way, for his YouTube channel.
Oh, you got his link there. Okay, nice.
So make sure to subscribe.
Oh yeah. And let's see. Also the character Dustin. He's another like one of my other favorites. Yeah, Dustin played by Gaten Matarazzo. And
That's right.
yeah, like because and I just find it crazy, like, because there was something about him that I did not that actually surprised me, like in terms of like the medical world, because they wrote this for his character, because in real life he actually has a condition that's called, what is that called? Hang on, uh, cladocranial dysplasia, dysplasia.
Boy, I think that's how you say it.
It's like a
I
rare.
could be fully wrong, but it's one of the two.
Yeah, it's like one of those rare. It's a rare condition that affects bone and tooth growth. So yeah, and I never even heard of this condition, and apparently, and like they introduced it onto the show, like wrote it into there. Cladocranial dysplasia.
Yeah, there you go. Jeremy corrected it for you.
Oh yeah, it's like it affected him where his teeth are not growing as like some of his other ones are. It's like uneven, and also he has no collarbones. Like he can actually bring his shoulders together, like touching each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's, you know, I mean, yeah, I didn't know anything of that. That actually did exist. So
yeah.
it's just like,
yeah, and he's demonstrated that on when he was like a guest on what was that MTV show? What was it? Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek.
Yep.
Yeah, he demonstrated that on there too. Yeah, so and he's actually been using this show, you know, his character and his fame to spread awareness of his condition. So that's what I admire about Gaten Matarazzo. He doesn't let anything hold him back. You know, despite the way he was born, he just keeps on doing what he loves and spreads awareness.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I sometimes can't help but wonder if it's ever like painful for him to do these type of acts, you know, especially when, like what Jeremy just said, you know, like with no collarbone, that he could actually touch his shoulders with him, or even if it doesn't hurt, if it creates a lot of stress.
Yeah, I never really did think of that. I mean, he didn't show any. If he had any discomfort, he was hiding it pretty well when he did it, because he didn't show any sign of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. And I think, Lucas, the actor played Lucas, Caleb McLaughlin. Yeah, I thought he did an amazing job with his character, and especially like with the first season, playing the skeptic who was very suspicious of Eleven, and whether she's a liability or a danger to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, which is somewhat understandable because of the powers that she's demonstrated, but she does use them for good. Like the point where, let's see one example. Oh yeah, where Mike is cornered, and where Mike and Dustin are cornered by one of the bullies from the school. What was his name? Troy.
Troy, I think that's what it was. Troy.
Had a switchblade and everything, and tried to force and was forcing Mike to jump over the cliff onto the water below, which is like a long drop. Because you know how when someone jumps into water from like 100 feet high, and it's not the same as jumping into a pool. No, you hit that water, it's like rock solid.
Yeah, it's like, in other words, like concrete.
Yeah, which is like one of the biggest like examples of that is like, you know how when they were building the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco during the 1930s.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, the construction workers had such terrible conditions in terms of fog and high winds, and every once in a while there was one or two of them slipped off, hit that water, and that's like from the water to like the part of the bridge where, you know, like the main part of the bridge, that's like over 200 feet.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, that's almost, I would say probably certain death for some, but even if you did survive, it was going to go down ugly in the end.
Yeah, no, the second you hit that water, you're done, and that's pretty much
pretty much over.
And that's pretty much what they were doing to Mike. Troy was pretty much committing straight up murder.
Yep, exactly.
But then 11 intervened, and then just and then broke his arm with her mind. Yeah,
getting into the legendary franchises.
Oh, Finn is getting Godzilla legendary franchise. Oh, you mean the MonsterVerse?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it would be interesting if Finn is.
I actually would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just wait 2 more years, Don, then Godzilla's 70th anniversary. So I guess we'll find out soon. And no, it Ghostbusters. I think that's what you're talking about. Okay, so if that's the case, that would actually be awesome.
Yeah, so. I love how he's been in Ghostbusters too. Another throwback to the 80s. Ghostbusters 80s. Yep. Oh, yep. There you got the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, did you notice my shirt?
Yeah, I saw your shirt. That works perfectly. Like
Oh
it
yeah,
fits perfectly for tonight, of course, for the background and then the subject we're talking about. That works great.
I
Well,
just
Bill,
like
you have not seen Stranger Things?
you're
Come
missing out.
on now.
Yeah, you're missing out, bro.
You know, I should tell you, Don. Wild Bill, actually, he's also a new member of our network. He's actually going to be starting a show real soon here on this network. So,
Well, so
um,
Bill, now would be a good time to start seeing it. I consider it the absolute best thing on Netflix. Second best is Cobra Kai. So yeah,
okay, so just like me, okay, he's only seen the first two seasons.
oh,
He's kind of like in the same boat right now as I am, although I'm still climbing up through season two.
oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this. Gaten Matarazzo, he also hosts another series on Netflix called Prank Encounters. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I mean, it was just all right for just like a reality show. But
I
yeah,
know you've shown me a show that involved pranks, but I don't think it was that show,
I
however.
don't know when I did that. That was probably a long time ago.
It probably was.
Yeah, I don't think I've shown you that. Oh yeah, Cobra Kai. Yes, it is a fantastic series. Another throwback, another thing that's been revitalized. Not exactly. I don't know if it's considered a throwback to the '80s, but it definitely it's like bringing something back from the '80s, the Karate Kid franchise.
Definitely. See, I'll be on, in that case, I mean, yes, we've seen Stranger Things, but I should still say, however, with Cobra Kai, I have not seen that.
Well, it's definitely worth seeing, dude.
Maybe when I get a chance. Right now, I got to focus on trying to watch Stranger Things as
I
well
know.
as a few other horror television series I got to get through first.
Yeah, man. I'm always in that same situation. There's just so many great shows out there. Everybody
It's
says,
hard to keep
oh,
up.
yeah, everybody says, why haven't you caught up with American Horror Story? Why haven't you caught up with Salem? Why haven't you watched this?
Yeah. Tom's heading out. He said he has to run.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, Tom.
Please put Stranger Things on your must-do list, everyone.
Yeah,
Whether
agreed.
you lived in the 80s or not, make sure to put it on your list.
Oh yeah, like there's all kinds of throwbacks to like the 80s on that show. Like there was another poster for oh
Jill wants your shirt.
yeah, I got this from Spencer's. Like that
Bill,
was
you should have. She lives in California, so Jill, you should have Spencer's out in California.
I'm sure they have those all nationwide and probably
Yeah.
in other countries.
You know, I'm actually surprised we never had Stranger Things shirts when I was working at Spirit Halloween because
Really?
Spencer's is. I know. I mean, they had a lot of Stranger Things, like they have like some like type of costumes, decorations, cups, like posters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hell, they even had I forgot one of the kids' names. Who was the one who had the curly hair, wore the hat all
Dustin.
the time? What was it?
Dustin.
Dustin. They had his hat they would like use, but for some reason whatsoever, despite all the Stranger Things merchandise, there were no Stranger Things t-shirts.
Yeah, that's strange. Let's see what. Oh, let's see. As far as like the whole atmosphere of the show, and also like they did a great job in creating like a very fictional dark world with the Upside Down, where the Demogorgon is originating from.
And I'm still trying to figure out more about the Upside Down. I mean, the first season I kind of had trouble understanding like what exactly is this? I mean, yes, that's where the Demogorgon came from, but for the first season and up until season 2 started, I was thinking for the longest time, what exactly is this? I mean, it's like, again, it was like, is this supposed to be an alternate universe, or is it supposed to be some new gateway or dimension of some sort? I was just kind of puzzled at first, but now that, well, I guess you can kind of say I'm glad I waited for a couple seasons to go past without me watching, because that way I wouldn't have all these questions. Sometimes it's better to wait and let the seasons roll and have enough, so that way you could, you don't have to be on edge or constantly think about what's going to happen next season.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I don't think they did like great with the design, how like it's like a parallel world in like terms of how it matches our world, like same infrastructure, same kind of area layout and buildings, but it's completely like dark. It's much darker. It's like it has like a kind of apocalyptic feel to it in terms of how there's no signs of human life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's very bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the '80s theme that drew me in originally, even though my son had.
Oh yeah, the '80s definitely the theme to it definitely had an '80s touch to it though, with the synth kind of a tone to it. What do they call that? What is it called? Synth or something or other?
Yeah, it's something like that.
I keep forgetting. But yeah, whenever I watch an episode, I never skip the intro. It's like I love this title sequence. I love this song. I'm not skipping. And a buddy of mine I was watching this season 2 with, he said, "Hey Don, no, I skip the intro." I'm like, "Don't you dare!"
I've always watched the introduction to begin with. In fact, I even have the theme song on my Halloween musical. It's like as soon as I saw that the theme song was available on YouTube, I'm like, that's definitely going on my Halloween list. Even if it's like just a minute song, I'm still adding it anyway. Or even if that is the full song, it's still going on. I'm not leaving it out.
Oh yeah.
And with that, I mean, there's never been an October that's passed by where I don't listen to it.
Yeah, it's definitely on my soundtrack.
Play
but,
it, Nick.
Oh yeah. Do you think we'll get copyrighted if we play it though?
If I just play like a few seconds of it or something like on my phone. So, you know what? Maybe we'll wait till we get to the end of the show. Because I know we got.
Make that our outro, huh?
Yeah, make that the outro.
Make the intro song our outro song.
Well, I have played a few, like on some of our other shows. We have played sometimes a few like horror film theme songs.
Really?
You don't do sci-fi, Wild Bill. Come on. And Brad, no, we are not playing that. Should play the horror film I made for you. He is talking about because, okay, so long story short, I don't know if you saw that show on Supernatural Talk that apparently there was some figure that was behind me.
Yeah.
And it looked like Samara from The Ring. And then we found out later on it was photoshopped. And there was this huge talk about Samara, my relationship girlfriend, if you will. And that was also around the same time too. And we were talking about, and I talking about my fear of cockroaches. So he made a video. He copied this, right? No, the American one. Yep, that one. Yep, that's what. Whoa, I didn't know that feature existed.
Yeah, I know. I just bought it like this. It has like this how they do it on how they used to do it on like a lot of DVDs. How they just or VHS tapes. How they just have this changing image.
Is that the like 20th anniversary edition? Because it was made in 2002.
Let's see. It says this copy was made in 2008. So
2008. Wow, yeah. That's quite an interesting time to put on. But anyways, Brad made a copy because like the Ring video is on YouTube, like you could actually watch the video. He copied it, and I watched it, and in the middle of these videos were images of cockroaches and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, enough. I even shared it on the show so everybody can watch. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. I heard somebody say they wish they could nuke the cockroaches, but that's the thing, they could survive nukes.
Yep, Samara's wife. Well, Wild Bill, if you're a horror freak, you would love Stranger Things because even though it is sci-fi, it's actually mostly 80s horror related. I think you would like that.
It's got more of a horror and like tone to it than sci-fi. I don't like it's like sure it's like there's pop culture like in the like here and there where it relates to like the sci-fi from the 80s, but mostly it's got a horror feel to it. So yeah, I wouldn't worry if you're not a sci-fi fan. I wouldn't worry.
I honestly didn't even think of it as sci-fi. I thought it was more horror related, but
like supernatural.
Supernatural. This is what Jeremy said, by the way. If we play the theme song, get a notification where a page will lay claim on it, but they'll just contest it and they will release it.
I see.
Oh God, Don. Jill's asking, "What are your fears, if any?" Oh, do you really want to? You sure you want to put those fears out?
Only one thing I was terrified of as a kid, and that is Nemesis from Resident Evil 3.
Resident Evil 3. Yep, and I've seen that.
And I still have my copy.
Check that out.
Yeah, this came out in 1999, and I wasn't able to get a hold of this until 10 years later because my parents were always freaked out by it, by scary stuff. It was tough being a horror fan growing up because my parents are not fans of horror.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not surprised. Neither of my parents are. Let's see. Turn around, look at what you see in her face, the mirror of her dreams.
Until the third season.
Yeah. Scariest movie that bothered me is the poster behind Oh, so Jaws scared you, Wild Bill.
Yep. And this movie single-handedly sparked the fear of the water in the entire world.
Just when you thought it was safe to go in the water.
Yeah.
And not to mention, too, spawned a huge panic among sharks as well, thinking that they were these horrific man-eaters, especially the great white shark.
Yeah, they just treat them like they're monsters. Let's see.
Nemesis was awesome, Brad said.
I just consider Nemesis to be one of the most terrifying villains in video game history. But but playing it now and also playing the remake, Nemesis is, I've conquered my fear. Nemesis, he's pretty cool.
Yep, even Jill agrees. He's so scary, but she loves Resident Evil.
Been a fan since a kid, since I was 7 years old when my babysitter showed me that game, the Resident Evil 2, like on PlayStation 1 when I was at his house. So I just want to tell him right now, if you're watching this, to my babysitter from back then, if you're watching this, thank you.
One
thing I wanted to mention, how Stranger Things is mostly inspired by works by Steven Spielberg and also Stephen King. In fact, the title Stranger Things is inspired by the title Needful Things.
That's Stephen right.
King. Yep. I believe Needful Things, and to my knowledge, I believe that's the first book that Stephen King wrote after recovering from alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I still need to read that book. Like, I should mention the Stranger Things. The first season takes place in 1983, and that's when 3 Stephen King three films based on his work were released. They were, let's see, Carrie, Cujo, and Carrie, Cujo, and The Dead Zone.
And a whole bunch of slasher films, too, not to mention.
Oh, yeah.
And Jill's Shark Week isn't until August, so you got to wait another month. And I love Jeremy's comment. Shark Week? Hell no.
Anyway, the 80s were a big just a big decade for horror fans. Like, because they had the big slasher craze with Friday the 13th franchise. Let's see, some of the Halloween sequels. A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Let's see, Sleepaway Camp. Actually, Sleepaway Camp came out in 1983.
That's right. See, the way I kind of see it is some people will say it's 83, but in my opinion, it's 84. It's like the golden age of the slasher genre really was from 1980 to 1984. And after that, there was kind of somewhat of a big break in the mid 80s. That's when you saw a lot of the sequels come out. But aside from that, essentially, the genre apparently died until Scream came out, in 1996. Revitalized the whole thing.
Yeah, that's when we got I Know What You Did last summer after that. But,
Candyman too, so you got a couple of them.
I should mention the character 11 was like hugely. I wanted to go back to this. She was like hugely inspired by both Stephen King and Steven Spielberg works, like E.T., like how she's this mysterious being that kids are protecting from the government, and has a passion for this one thing. Where E.T. had a passion, had loved this one thing, Reese's Pieces. 11 loves Eggos.
I remember the Eggos especially. I'm trying to think. Why does that remind me of? I even asked myself, like, why does that remind me of some movie? I know there's a movie just like that wasn't Eggos, but it was something else. But I just cannot put my finger on where I've heard of it. And now that you brought that up, it makes total sense.
Yeah, let's see what else. Oh, also, in Stars of Stephen King, she's like hugely inspired by Carrie because of how she uses her powers to like take down anyone who is her enemies, like just and also to aid her friends, and and also the point where she lifted an entire van and just threw it back at them.
I liked how they kind of made her almost like Carrie, even though, and this is what Jeremy just said, I mean, it seemed like it was inspired by Carrie, even though that was actually released in the 70s.
That is true, but I believe it did have some inspiration from Stephen King's work. Therefore, one thing I think of it in terms of telekinesis and Stephen King, Carrie.
Exactly.
But actually, the difference is 11. Her powers are a little beyond telekinesis. Telekinesis is usually just like the ability to lift objects. I mean, her powers are beyond that, to the point where she's actually able to explode people's brains. And
you know what that reminds me? It reminds me of another 80s horror film. You know what it also reminds me of, Al?
what?
David Cronenberg's Scanners, because it involved exploding heads.
That was a gory scene when I first saw that.
It was like that's literally like one of my all-time favorite, David Cronenberg movies, because, excuse me, that's just,
this is my favorite.
What's that? Oh, the remake of The Fly.
Yes. Now this was like pure body horror. I like one of Jeff Goldblum's best hits.
And normally I'm not a huge, fan of like remakes, but for such a film like that really, took its time in creating this film, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the few best remakes. And I've already heard that they're trying to make another remake of The Fly, but I think we can agree here though that it's not gonna be as good as that one, and it sure as hell is not gonna be as good as the original one from the 50s with Vincent Price.
Oh yeah.
So,
and let's see what was I gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like as far as Stephen King's work, like you've read like some of his books, right?
I do. I know I've read. Man, see, I have I have been starting to read a lot more, so I haven't really been able to have the chance of reading a lot Stephen King wise. Though I do have, and funny enough, because again, this is what I've been talking about with my show on the Nick Files. I do have a copy of The Shining, so I will at some point. Because again, I'm in the middle of these other audiobook projects that when I have a chance and when I have, some time, I'm going to try to take the chance of reading some of the Stephen King novels. I'm not going to record them because those would take way too long to do. But I'm going to read them regardless.
But the Stephen King novels and stories, they tell me like probably a very valuable life lesson. You know what that is?
What's that?
It is don't go to Maine.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's for Stephen King.
Go to Maine. And because apparently in Maine they have child-eating clowns dwelling in the sewers, rabid Saint Bernards, let's see, native burial grounds that bring your loved ones back as vicious monsters, and long list of other things. So yeah, just don't go to Maine.
And not to mention a rabid dog too. And I would probably suggest avoid going up to the mountains of a hotel and you find a typewriter that says "all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy."
But that wasn't in Maine. That was Colorado.
I know it was not in Maine, but I'm just saying if you ever go to like a hotel that's set in the mountains and everyone's not there and you see that, run.
Oh man, but
here's another thing that Tom just said. Opening theme song for Stranger Things reminds me of like Creepshow kind of feel, which another 80s horror film from the 80s, which I love. Creepshow.
Yep, true. Oh, Jim, oh, I get it.
Yeah, need to stay away from Nebraska.
Children of the Corn reference. I got that. Children
of the Corn. Corn. You know me with my Nick of the Corn stuff.
Yeah. And again, with Stranger Things, they do like an amazing job, like showing like what the lifestyle was like back then in terms of technology. How back then, like it shows you like how they use how they took pictures, with a camera that use Polaroids, like Jonathan had.
Yep.
And how they were able to.
Go ahead. Sorry.
How they communicated or walkie-talkies. How they are able to listen to music. How they play games. How they read the newspaper. Whereas in the year 2022 or 2022, whatever, we can do all those things with just this.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of sad because you had much more interaction. And I will say, I mean, if you think about it too, the 80s were a time when cell phones were like mid to late 80s when cell phones were coming out. But of course, back then you had to be rich to own one of those. And it was like one of those big box looking ones.
Yeah.
It looked like you had had half of a headphone hanging out, and they costed like thousands of dollars. And that literally continued on even into the 90s. They really didn't start dropping price by price until like the early 2000s. So cell phones were around, but in those days, it was very rare to see people who had them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Walkmans are a thing of the past.
Yep.
Just like
that's true.
That was like the old type of MP3 device that people would listen to in those days personally.
Yeah, it's like should time travel back to 1983 and just tell everybody invest in Apple, it would become huge. because it revolutionized the way we listen to music, and also revolutionized the watch, brought back the watch industry.
Yep.
Apple Watch. Let's see what else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, for characters, like there was one character that I did not like through like the first half of the season, and that was Steve.
Yep.
Yeah, who was dating Nancy. Yeah, like he just had this over possessive and like jock kind of a feel to him who just looked down on other people, and I'm just like, yeah, the hell with this guy. Yeah, I did not like Steve at first.
Yeah. I mean, and again, just sometimes the most hated characters eventually become the most liked as time goes by.
Yeah, that's one thing I do like. I love his character developments. Like he feels remorseful for the way he treated both Jonathan and Nancy. How he went over to apologize to them, and crazy timing because that was right when they were about to face the Demogorgon.
Yeah,
And he really stepped up to the plate, like beating the hell out of Demogorgon with a baseball bat and helping set it on fire. So
right.
I was like, okay, maybe this guy's all right, and I just love how he just progresses throughout the series, like really becomes a much better character than what he used to be.
Tom just actually commented too, saying Steve becomes such a big part.
He does. Absolutely.
And Jeremy brought up another old-fashioned thing. Tape players are rare too. You may find an oddball one and now and then. That's why I got one of those, Jeremy, like this one right here, the tape recorder. For investigations, though.
Antiques now. But yeah, like the characters in this, I'm one of the things I'm most impressed with. They're so well written and created. It's just like they really are one of the best things about the show.
Yeah. It's just it's really well done. So
I was upset when they killed off one of the characters, this one character in as the second episode, Nancy's best friend Barb. Barb. Yeah, like she was just all like it seemed very shy, innocent, and like she just didn't really deserve to die the way she did by the Demogorgon.
It was unexpected too, because you would not think out of everybody that she would be killed by the Demogorgon.
Yeah, and the fact that
it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
wait a second here.
Yeah, like then the fact that Nancy like went off to be with Steve rather than study with her, like kind of like I guess adds more to like Nancy's guilt. Like feel like maybe if she had stuck with her, she would have been all right.
Mm-hmm.
So Nancy was like determined to figure out what happened.
It was like she was that type of character who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep, and that started the whole hashtag Justice for Barb.
Yep.
I'm not this. So apparently, like everybody was upset over her death, and I'm just glad it wasn't just me.
Yeah. Jeremy wrote this. This is interesting.
It's the feel that it was written by Stephen King. Well, yeah, it was heavily inspired by Stephen King's work. Yep,
or at least inspired.
Heavily inspired. Yeah, and let's see, what else was I gonna say?
You got about 20 minutes left, or 17 minutes left, so you still got time.
Oh yeah, and yeah, and the whole aspect of how they created then like 11's like gave her like experimented with her and powers and such. I wonder if that actually was inspired by like real life kind of government theories about the experiments they were conducting, especially like during the 80s, the Cold War era.
Yep.
Yeah, like trying to like during the time when everyone was trying to have the upper hand in terms of like weapons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So. Absolutely. Jill has a question for you, Don. What is your favorite prop or novelty piece? And if you got to keep any from Stranger Things?
Oh, it would definitely be the bat that Steve used, to fight the Demogorgon. He's since then created maybe like a spike bat after that. So I'm just like, whoa, it's even deadlier than before.
Yeah. You should know too. You should know too, Don, for Jill, because again, she along with Brad are some of our most frequent fans. Out of everybody, Jill has the most questions. So you might get more questions from her as time goes by.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. And let's see. Oh, I should mention like 1983. That was also a tough year for because I noticed in certain parts of the series there was like a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, like the very first, or no, not Super Nintendo, and NES, Nintendo Entertainment System.
That was the NES. I was going to correct you.
NES. That was the very first home console from Nintendo, and this took place in this series started in 1983, the year when the video game industry crashed.
That's right.
Yeah. And Yeah, largely, well, because everybody just kept producing bad games, such as ET on the 2600, and that's one of the most notoriously bad games of all time. So, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, smooth the move on that one, Atari.
So many questions, hugs, and yeah, Jeremy just described it the best way. Jill has the questions, and Brad has the roaches.
Okay, enough of these roaches.
No, yeah, see, trust me, I've been saying no roaches. Damn it!
I'm gonna send roaches through your house right now if you don't knock it out.
Jill, actually, this is an interesting comment. Jill, I'll let you read this one.
Okay, I'm so huge Stephen King fan of his books. Probably first to read when I watch in horror. Just watched Misery before bed last night. Oh yeah, Misery. That's another great one. I mean, it throws in like one of the biggest tropes in front of Stephen King's characters, where it's like a lot of his stories have a character who's a writer.
Right.
That's one of the tropes. That's one of the most common aspects of Stephen King's universe that I've noticed. Having a writer, like he could be like, in some cases, an alcoholic inspired by his real life alcoholism. But in this instance, it like focused on the whole aspect of obsessed fans.
Right.
So yeah, there was one character in Misery, and that's the whole focus of it. Character who's a writer and has a dangerously obsessed fan.
Exactly. See, scariest thing about that is, that idea, because obviously, as with us doing podcasts and all, like what we love doing, that we've been able to like make connections and stuff. There's always that possibility that we're always going to have some of those crazed fans, and I'm always a little worried about that. Don, if you want to know the story behind the roaches, I was just talking to him about it, Jeremy. Don't give him ideas.
Okay, next person who mentions roaches, I'm going to send a box of roaches to their house.
Yeah, let's see how they like it.
Yep.
Let's see. Can we get Brad to make Don a Nemesis Resident Evil REM pod? Maybe Don, do you ghost hunt at all? Yeah, she's asking if you ghost hunt at all.
I've gone with Nick to several places. Like one of my favorite places was the what? Well, we didn't do a hunt there, but it was the prison where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
That's right.
Yep, the
Ohio Reformatory.
Yes, it was. Yeah, one of my favorite films of all time. Like I have it. I have it somewhere mixed in here. But oh yeah, it's on the lower shelf.
Which is another Stephen King tale.
Another Stephen. Yep, exactly. Like one of his best. And it's amazing how just about all of his work has been adapted into film. And only one of those films has been directed by him. It was Maximum Overdrive back in again another '80s film.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like. He made Maximum Overdrive. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it feels like Stephen King. This is the one film you have no excuse for. Like you wrote the script, you directed the film, you had total control. So, it's just crazy how they also casted Charlie Sheen's brother in that.
Maximum Overdrive was insane. Jeremy said.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it's like. It's crazy how they expanded that from a short story into that.
I know,
and I love how. But I will give it this. I do love how they all the music was done by AC/DC.
I know, that's just like I didn't even realize it was AC/DC that did that.
Oh yeah, they did a whole album for that film. It was Who Made Who.
Yeah, Shawshank was another. Shawshank, of course, obviously that was made in the '90s, but it was still a great movie though, regardless.
For sure.
So, and hopefully, Don, hopefully we're gonna get. You'll have a chance of coming back out with us so we can do an investigation at Shawshank. I mean, they're expensive investigations, but one day soon we'll bring you back, and that way you could also especially see what Mansfield looks like at night. It's let's see here. He even admits he was high on cocaine the entire time they filmed it. Are you serious? Is that true, Don? Or I didn't know that.
I would not be surprised because like during the mid '80s to until like 1990, I think 1990 is when he was still recovering. He was still going through his alcoholism and drugs and whatnot. So,
well, it doesn't happen overnight for them. So it does take a while.
Yeah, Stephen King had gone through a difficult time at that point in his life.
Hang on one second, Don. Someone, I guess Jenny from Ireland has been watching this. She's asking if we could see her comments. Jenny, if you're watching, for some reason whatsoever, we can't see your comments. If if you could message me personally, I mean, I know you messaged me personally, but if you could tell me which channel you're which platform you're watching, because that's the other thing, Don. I forgot to tell you, for some reason whatsoever, StreamYard, even with all these platforms, they don't like our personal ones, for example, they don't show the comments for some reason, which we're still trying to figure. It's not just your show; it's like that for almost everybody's show. So you may have to at times go on your personal profile to see who's commenting. So we definitely do. So if anybody has been commenting, we haven't seen them, we do apologize for that. That's the work of StreamYard. It's not us. So just go on one of the other platforms to whether it's Things or my personal profile or Don's, and hopefully we'll be able to see your comments then if you have any questions. So I'm sorry, Don. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know that.
That's good. You're cool. Yeah, and let's see what he said during an interview. Oh yeah, okay, so it is confirmed. Posted some AC. Oh, yep. On the 4th. Shook Me All Night Long. Yeah, that's one of my family's favorite AC/DC songs.
Yeah, it's just like what you said here, too, what Jeremy said.
Yep. When he wrote Pet Sematary, he doesn't even remember writing. Oh, yeah, there were a couple of novels that Stephen King doesn't remember writing because he was under the influence. I believe one of them was Tommyknockers.
Tommyknockers.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
I could consider that one of his weirdest works. So
yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thanks, Joe.
What did you do to celebrate? Oh yeah, we hung out pool party.
And yeah, it was fun, but to make a long story short, as some of you guys know, knowing the fact that we live in the Chicago area, we also unfortunately were not too far from the Highland Park shooting that was only about 15 minutes away, which I just wanted to just give a quick shout out, just really saying, for the families out there and also for those that are still recovering, our prayers go out for you. We're so sorry that this happened. We're still saddened by this event, but our hearts and prayers go out to you.
Yeah, and we can also be thankful that the man was caught, and they'll never let him do this to anybody again.
Exactly. Most importantly, they found him. This killer's off the streets. He's where he needs to be. And as people of the state of Illinois, we're going to do everything we possibly can to try to keep him there. So, anyways, here's Jenny. Yeah, this is Jenny right here. Even though it says Things Network, she even identified herself. So this is her. Excellent. There you are, Jenny. Now you can see you.
All right. Excellent.
And Tommyknockers is weird, but loved it. Heard they're remaking it.
What?
Oh God.
I mean, I saw the original version of the original film of that, and I thought it was weird. Like super weird.
It was just like, to me, Tommyknockers was just like the monsters to me looked like giant Pac-Men.
Yeah.
In a way.
Let me ask you. No, Tommyknockers. No, that was Langoliers.
Oh, that was Langoliers. See, I always get them mixed up with Tommyknockers and Langoliers.
Another weird one. Yeah, Langoliers was good up until the third act when they first showed those things. Those what the Langoliers were, and I'm like, really? You all that build up for this? Well, some of the worst CGI I've ever seen. But anyway, yeah, Tommyknockers. Let me just ask you this: how often have you ever seen a guy being killed by an exploding vending machine?
Yeah, I've seen him crushed, but not exploded. That's just like, wow.
Oh man, like that's what you kind of love about some of these movies. They're to the point. They're just so silly to the point where it's like introduces you to something that's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Sorry, I got another message from Robert White from Australia has also been watching, but it's the same situation with him. Wow, check this out, Don. I'm actually okay. For those who are watching right now, again, we apologize again if we haven't seen your comments because again, StreamYard just for some reason doesn't show them. Wow, Don, we got quite a couple of people from Australia watching right now.
All right. Yep. Hello, Australia from America.
What I'll do is, if anybody, you know what, I'm gonna keep I have my phone with me. I have it on mute. I'm gonna keep this on for my channel so that way I can't see comments from there. So if anybody does have questions, I'll just read them off here.
Let's see. Oh, Jill is asking, Don, what was your first either horror or sci-fi film seen, and how old were you? First horror film? It was this right here. Yep, it was Jaws, and 5 years old. Yes.
And my first was I always make it a combination. Again, considering it was the 90s, we used to watch the X-Files, which, at that time, was still huge and brand new and popular. And also, not necessarily fully horror, but it truly inspired me in the genre. Believe it or not, was Nightmare Before Christmas. Of course, that's why I got this Jack Skellington patch.
There you go.
So not a full horror film, but it does have that horror element to it.
Nice. Seeing Bronson Pinchot as a villain, at least in that film, didn't feel right. Yeah, like he was like known for that that sitcom that was filmed in Chicago during the, I think, 80s. What was that called? Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers, yeah.
Yeah, Balky was his character. He played Balky in Perfect Strangers. That's what he was known for.
Jenny's asking this.
Anthony? Oh, yeah, that was a disturbing film.
It's I haven't seen it. I know the case, and that's based on a true story. And that actually, I do have the real story, which I will be presenting on the Nick Files about a week or two from now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Nick, let's give that back into Stranger Things.
Yeah, we're going all over the place.
Yeah, let's focus here. Let's see. What I like about the character Sheriff Hopper, like that he has like a tragic background to him. Like he took the whole like situation with Will's disappearance like very personal because he lost a child of his own, his daughter Sarah.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, so I like how they just add depth to some of these people on the show.
Yeah, it's like there's just, I don't know, there just seems to be how can I describe it to you? It's just they just take their time and really getting to know, like allowing you to get to know these people, because most television shows, especially in this day and age, they just cut to the chase immediately. I mean, you might know a thing or two, but for Stranger Things, though, they take their time. So in this case, like for example, the first season, in the case especially near the end of the season, they took their time. They didn't just like focus right in on the monster action or the upside down. They waited until the time was just about right.
Yeah, the show is so carefully crafted and has a steady build up to like for all these twists, for all these story arcs, the character development, their backgrounds, everything.
Wow.
Throwing out story arcs. Yep. So do I, Jeremy.
You get to know and Jeremy just said you get to know the people first.
Oh yes. Yeah, and I just and like it's like they're one of the biggest plot points of the show. Another one is like the whole love triangle that Nancy goes through. It's like who do you want her to be with, Steve or Jonathan?
Exactly. It's a difficult decision to make, but of course I still have to catch up with the rest of season 2.
Yeah, because like I said, I did not like Steve at first. I thought he was a scumbag, but he redeemed himself and proved himself. So yeah, fighting off a Demogorgon, that does it for me.
Exactly. And the fight with the Demogorgon in the end, you have to admit, was kick ass.
Oh yeah,
it was definitely great.
Yeah, he was just wailing on him with that bat when nothing else worked, and then they set him on fire.
I know it's like they were just fighting with everything they got,
forcing him to retreat. Yep. And
you see what Jeremy just said. He again, not to partially get off top, but he just gave a primary example, saying like that said he loves the first seasons of Walking Dead. Yes, they are thrown right into the situation, but this is where, in this case with Stranger Things, this is where you see what people are truly made of.
Oh yes, yeah, you definitely see what they can really become capable of when thrown into these situations. When their true character comes out.
Right. Now, Jill has a question. Do you believe in any of what the show is about or not at all?
For me, the show Stranger Things, when it comes to like nostalgia, somewhat, like everybody feels like, oh, I just hate the world it is now. I just want to go back to simpler times.
Exactly. That's what I think that every day.
Even if this simpler time does involve monsters from another dimension.
Stranger Things equals CERN.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So yeah, like Stranger Things, I just cannot wait. Like I'm just excited to know that season 4 is not the last season. There's going to be a season 5, and I'm hoping season 6. I just want them to keep carrying on this story as much as they can.
Exactly.
With their excellent writing, it's just, there's so much they can do with the show.
It will be a while. I mean, didn't they say it was not till like 2023 or 2024 when season 5 was going to come out?
Not
I
sure.
can't. Oh no, it's gonna be 2023 or 24. Yeah,
Somewhere around that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, the truth is out there though, Don. Story is awesome.
Yes, it is. And like, and there's also like the one main human villain, which is Dr. Brenner, who was responsible for Eleven's granting 11 her powers, her upbringing, raising her inside of a lab, completely isolated. Yeah, excellent parenting there.
That's right.
Yeah, but as the series goes on, you will, I guarantee you will hate him more and more because
I'm sure
this guy, I guarantee you, Nick, this guy's a total scumbag.
He's got to be like one of those characters that no matter what, he just refuses to give up and not learn his lesson. He just wants to keep going on. That's the way how I kind of see it.
Yeah, it's like sometimes characters redeem themselves, but sometimes not.
Nope. And Jeremy put this out. We forgot to mention about this earlier about Stranger Things.
Yep, it's set in Hawkins, Indiana, completely fictional town. Yeah, like I actually looked up Hawkins, Indiana, like that. No such thing.
Should say Stranger Things.
But yeah, I just love how the whole tone, the whole idea of how the strength of their those four boys is their friendship, able to overcome and just about anything that gets thrown at them, whether it's real world or the upside down world.
They're like, it's like a whole brotherly bond that they have. Like, yes, no matter what, even when they're on bad terms, they're still willing to work together.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, and even when faced with the unknown, like at first the girl was completely unknown to them, with 11, but felt like her powers could be dangerous, but they could actually be used for good.
Sorry, that was my phone. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, she was using her powers for good to like finally stop the Demogorgon.
Exactly.
Hey, Don, check out your Instagram. Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second. Let me check this.
And while you're doing that, Tom Nally just said, true friendship overcomes everything, even within the upside down. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's another request for a reaction video. Yeah, don't worry, Kobe. I'll get right on that as soon as I can.
Just to read the comments from the phone, because like I said, we can't see them all for some reason. I just want to give the shout outs to Cherokee, Robert from Australia. We definitely appreciate you coming on. Good to see you, Josh. And then also, Junebug was watching. Couple of cool dudes, he says. And finally, when you said hello from America, Cherokee said hello from down under. And then also now you have Irene from Japan watching. So and Melissa here from Melissa as well. So good to see you. So again, we apologize we haven't reached out, but again, StreamYard's just been acting weird.
Yeah, StreamYard is odd.
I'm a cool dude too, damn it.
Hey, come on, man.
And Jeremy just said, by the way, Don, it's up to you. We can keep going if we want. He just said Greg is not doing his normal show tonight. So
yeah, I'm willing to keep this going on for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, look at this. You got a good compliment here.
Can't wait to say enough good things. Oh, you are so fantastic to talk to, Don. Thank you very much.
Jill, it's not Nick Files. It's not Nick Files. This is Don's show. We don't.
No, it's not Nick Files. This is my thing.
I'm just using this as the background, which I will have to change as time goes by. But no, Jill I don't want to say too much because I don't want to feel like I'm taking over. But Don wanted to start his own show, and obviously, being one of his best friends, I decided to co-host. Obviously, now I'll be doing shows 4 nights a week. So we don't have a name yet for this show, but for now, it's just called Don and Nick's Horror Discussion. So if you guys have any ideas for a name, please feel free to put them in the comments, and maybe we'll take it into consideration.
Yeah. What I was gonna say something else. Let's see. What was it? I think I had something here.
Jeremy just came up with an idea. Elmi and Muley. There's an idea.
Oh, like Siskel and Ebert. I get it.
Yeah, best show ever with Don. Check that out, Don.
Show ever with Don.
That's nice. So look at that's a good thing. And then Muley and Elmi. Tom was asked, this is a question, I think, for me. So, Tom, he's talking about the audiobook stories for Nightmare Soup. I will be planning on releasing these stories in sometime around, hopefully July 16th.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for a few more of the participants to send me their stories, which I'm going to reach out to them this week. So, we will be, I will be releasing them later this month.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's a comment from Kobe W. He says, do you think the final season that one of the kids or maybe adults will die? It's likely. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who. Like they're gonna leave that to mystery but I just know when it happens. I'm hoping, just really hoping it's not gonna upset us, like upset anybody, like big fans of the show like us, as the finale of Game of Thrones did.
It's gonna be the way how I see it. It's gonna be something that none of us will ever see coming. Like we don't know who it is. It's gonna be, but we know it's going to happen in some way, shape, or form. We really hope not, but expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's Hopper. I know they teased us a lot, like they teased us with a lot of characters. I don't know if it's going to be Hopper or someone else.
Man, found it ironic that the story I chose had the main dude named Tommy. He's talking about the story that he did. So, and then for people in the comments, good to see you, Melissa. Oh, it's another good compliment here saying, love you, doll. I'm so hooked on Stranger Things. Brings back my youth. And Greg Coase, who does a show of his own, he's watching right now. He also lives in the Chicago area.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Oh, Jeremy has not seen Game of Thrones yet.
That's true.
Where have you been for the last 11 years, Jeremy?
Well, if it makes
all the seasons right here.
Jill, I'm going to be honest with you, but I have not seen Game of Thrones either.
That is one of the greatest shows that has ever been on TV. Some of the most brilliant performances, amazing storylines, and you haven't seen it yet.
Well, just like what Jeremy says, I've been watching other shows too. Y'all, I love that comment.
Oh man, yeah, seriously. Like Stranger Things has thrown in all kinds of twists and turns. Like there are occasions where I click with
You two just broke my heart. He's talking about me and Jeremy. She's talking about me and Jeremy.
I know.
Awesome.
Oh man, yeah, but Stranger Things, like when like in the final scene is like what really, oh man, it really struck a chord with me. Like where 11 finally faces the Demogorgon, like disintegrates him into the wall, and you think she dies with him.
Yeah, you thought so in the beginning until season 2 starts. It's just like, wow,
it's like she's back.
In other words, it's like I remember even saying to myself, oh, she's not dead, she survived.
I was so happy seeing that, like, because that got me. I was thinking, oh my god, I was close to tears seeing that ending. Like, oh man, like where it's like they Will like not Will, Mike is loves 11, like is forming like this relationship with her, like, but and then they're just gonna take her away from the show. Like one of the best things the show is going for it. Like I was thinking, really, come on, man.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but then right when I saw her in season 2, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Now Melissa just wrote here through my personal profile. She's saying, I wonder if they will show them all grown up as adults in a future episode of bringing back the cast of Stranger Things 30-year anniversary.
I believe it.
And of course, Josh is like, if they're alive, that is. Guess we'll have to find out soon enough.
The majority of them will be, yes.
Like, same on that final scene.
Oh yeah. And what I love is how clever some of these how clever some of these characters, like one of these characters is Will's mom, played by Winona Ryder. How she knows that Will is still alive but doesn't know Will like where he is, and he's like communicating with her through the flickering lights to the point where she actually builds like a alphabet on the wall and one light underneath each letter so so that he could spell out words for her.
Almost like an Ouija board, if you will.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's like a huge, as I would probably call, more like an Ouija wall, if you will. Because it was exactly the same style. And again, when I mentioned briefly how, like, for example, when like I know it sounds partially off topic, like when I mentioned about Spirit Halloween, that was among one of the decorations that they actually made to sell for people, like to actually have your own display of that kind of spirit board, if you will.
Oh yeah, it certainly changed the way I look at Christmas lights now.
Yeah, Ouija wall with Christmas lights, as Jeremy just said. He was already one step ahead of you on that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Will be alive, and they will most certainly do future episodes.
Let's hope.
Well, they're still pretty young people. I'm so thrilled on that alphabet scene. Yep, that was a pretty impressive scene.
Oh yes, that was like one of the most. I just love characters that really use their heads, think outside the box on things.
Now, Jeremy had a question here. Didn't the Christmas lights spell out something?
Yes, it did. At certain points, it did. Like one of the final things that it spelled out for that Will had spelled was RUN, run, because the Demogorgon was about to emerge from the portal and attack her.
Right.
So, yeah, and like Will is like constantly on the run from this thing. It's like you don't really see it much, but he's always like he's stuck in the Upside Down, running from the Demogorgon, like hiding. I believe at some certain points he was hiding inside of his fort that he had made. What was it? Castle Briar, I think.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
So, yeah, the Demogorgon was like persistent. One thing I was like confused about, like if Will was captured first, then why did it kill Barbara first and not Will?
That's what I wondered. Like, what was the main reason why the Demogorgon captured Will and held him basically captive and then kill other victims? I mean, it's not like in any way like she was trying to actually look for him. Like this would be like some way that this monster would kill others who would try to save him. It wasn't that kind of situation. So that's what I wondered too.
Oh yeah.
So Tom said it is hard to think back to the first season without giving away the future shows.
Oh yeah. Hey, don't. He hasn't seen the future episodes yet.
Billy Mount had a question for you. Is Robin introduced in season 1?
No, she is introduced in season 3. Yeah, Robin is a future character, and interestingly enough, when I first looked at Robin, and her name was Maya Hawke, and Hawke, the last name sounded familiar, and sure enough, she's Ethan Hawke's daughter, who her mother is Uma Thurman.
Yeah, Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Having watched the newest season, we all know who was behind it all.
Don't spoil it for him. He hasn't. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, don't. We're
spoilers.
We're focusing on season by season, so don't say anything until we get to that season. We're only focusing on season 1 for tonight.
Yeah. First person who does getting booted.
Robert from Australia said through the comments here, saying, "I'm just happy that some of the forgotten songs have been revitalized by the show," which is true. There were a number of 80s songs that were played that kind of lost their popularity.
Yeah, I do remember one. It was from this Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night. That was playing one scene. Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah, it seems like there were a lot of famous Corys in the 80s. There was Corey Hart. Let's see, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim.
It was the Corey era.
Yeah,
or the Corey decade.
Oh yeah, Corey Feldman was in 2 of my favorite movies from the 80s, Gremlins and The Goonies.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, The Goonies. Now that movie, that's my favorite kid film in the 80s, even though they had a lot of aspects like language and such featured in a PG rated film. Yes.
Right. Like when you wake from a dream from another dream, so trippy, but I'm not the writer. Hey, look at this. Everybody's saying Jill, Tom saying this. No spoilers. Hashtag no spoilers. Sorry.
Wait. Just said, "Oh my God, I was so in love with Corey Haim." Yeah, he was a brilliant actor. Yeah, no longer with us, sadly.
Like a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside of an enigma.
Yeah, that's true. And but yeah, she was talking about Corey Haim. Yeah, he was a great actor. Like I said, no longer with us. Yeah, Corey Haim.
When did he pass away?
Yes, he did. It was about. I think it was.
No, I'm saying when did he pass away?
I think it was 2011, 2012. I'm trying to remember, but it was over 10 years ago.
10 years ago. How old was he? Or
let me take a look. Hang on.
No, just I do remember, but I couldn't remember how old he was when he passed away.
Well, let's see. Corey Haim. Oh yeah,
you're looking that up. Greg here is saying
I was wrong. 2010.
2010. Okay.
He was 38. He wasn't even old. Let's see.
Greg here says if they bring on Uma Thurman, I'm watching. And then Robert just said Lost Boys.
Yep.
That's a good movie. Aged 38 years old. Wow.
38 years old. He died from pneumonia.
Jeez, he was a young guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a terrible loss. Yeah. Oh, Tom Nally says, at least we still have Corey Feldman. Yeah, but it's said that Corey Feldman's career is not as big as it used to be. Like, his name was all over the place throughout the 80s and 90s, but yeah, not so much.
It's lost its structure, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
oh, come on, Jeremy just said.
Yeah. I have seen Corey Haim in several 80s films. Like one thing I remember for the first one I saw him was in Silver Bullet, another Stephen King adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, he played kid in a wheelchair, Marty, who is trying to warn his uncle uncle played by Gary Busey, another big 80s actor.
That's right.
About a werewolf that is committing the murders in his town.
Wow.
But Corey Feldman
is the comeback king.
Yes.
And then Tom says, you're looking to try to get Corey Feldman on Dom and Tom's World, but met dead ends. How about that? Wouldn't that be cool as hell, actually, though?
Cool. It is a shame that it hit dead ends.
Yeah.
That would be great to see him on there.
That would be nice.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So, Nick, anything to close us with?
We don't have a closing segment yet. Like, we could just end it right here. But really quick, I got to ask you, Don.
I mean,
how did it feel?
Topic-wise.
What's that?
Topic-wise, anything?
Well, that's what I was about to get to. So, but I actually did want to ask though, just before I do say anything topic-wise, what did you think for your first live show ever?
Loving this, man.
I mean, look at this, Don. You had people from all over the world. You had people from United States. You had people from Ireland. You had people from Japan, the Philippines, Australia. I mean, pretty cool stuff.
Australia, I've always wanted to visit Australia because it just has all these beautiful cities. Like Sydney, I hear is nice. Like all kinds of great sights to see. It seems like a really cool country.
It's awesome. Oh, definitely awesome stuff. Jeremy said this. Nick, if you don't know what I mean, just look it up on YouTube. Corey Feldman Comeback King. Okay. We'll have to look that up and see what that's all about. Josh had a question, actually, just before we end. Josh did have a question here through the comments. Okay. Wasn't Feldman in, I guess it's Friday the 13th, F13?
Yes,
wasn't he in Friday the 13th, part 3?
No, part 4, final chapter.
Oh, yeah, part 4. I thought it was part 4 that he was in.
Oh, yeah. That was another, that was one of my another, favorite Friday the 13th sequel that I like to see, because, it was like the one film where it's like Jason finally meets his match, Corey Feldman.
They should have, honestly, in my opinion, they should have ended the series then, because to me, in my opinion, that was the last Friday the 13th that I actually thought was scary. Like, it did have, when they brought it back, I mean, I still love the gory scenes and whatnot, but for the most part, that the final chapter was the last one that I actually thought was scary.
Yep, and they just kept it going on with 8 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So Friday the 13th part 4. It was called Final Chapter. So bunch of liars.
Josh, thank you for the compliment. She said, lots of fun, great guest. Josh, Don is not a guest. He's actually a host. I'm actually he's the host of the show. I'm co-hosting with him. Yep. And just make sure to tune in every Tuesday night for it. So,
we're going to have another awesome discussion next week focusing on, I'm going to keep it a secret. I'm going to leave it to mystery because that's what it's about.
And for the Nick Files tomorrow night, we got what I have for tomorrow, which, by the way, fortunately, I got the next 2 days off from work, so this gives me plenty of time to. Oh yeah, sorry, Don. I didn't mean to exit that out.
Oh yeah, love your question. Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll be focusing on the Elmi Lodge tomorrow, which is the last slideshow I'll be presenting. That is basically part of the Shining universe, if you will. If you know, Don, I don't know if you've seen my previous shows. I've actually been focusing on The Shining lately. Like not last week, but the week before that, and the 2 weeks ago, I was focusing on the Stanley Hotel.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was, talking about the shot. Well, I was talking about the real story about the hotel, and then last week I was focusing on Timberline Lodge, which was one of the shooting locations for The Shining. That was for the exterior shots.
Yeah.
And now for tomorrow, we're going to be kind of focusing on some of the interior shots of the Albany Lodge, which, ironically enough, if you don't know this, the Timberline Lodge and I believe Albany Lodge are actually said to be haunted. So there actually are real ghost stories to it. So it's not just the Stanley Hotel itself, but this is the last one, if you will, that I'll be focusing that has some type of connection or association with The Shining, book or movie wise.
That's fair.
So, and then for Supernatural Talk Thursday, I think it's just going to be myself, Adrian, Jeremy, and Eileen that are going to be chatting. I'm not sure what we're talking about. And the 13th Dimension for Friday with Jeremy, we're having Jeremy, remind me who we're having for Friday night.
Oh,
you got a huge fan already, Don, with Jill.
Oh, thank you, Jill. I really appreciate it.
Oh, and Jeremy said this too. See my wait, didn't you show?
You showed me your collection.
Didn't you show your collection on one of the when we had a video chat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Jeremy won't be on this Friday. He's going to be on the East. I think he's going to Vermont to do to be interviewed for a paranormal documentary. So it'll be Adrian and Jan that I'll be with. So, yes, Timberline Lodge is expensive. Yeah, so Jeremy kind of just put it all down. But yeah, I'm looking. Let's see. Jill's asking, can we have Don on some of the other talks too?
I could.
I was going to say, well, if we were to do that, Don, what do you think?
It depends on my schedule. Like things have been gotten real busy lately, not just with my work on YouTube or with this podcast, but I have all kinds of family events to go to. Like as a matter of fact, I just got one coming up this Saturday. My nephew, my godson, is about to turn 4 years old. So
happy birthday for him.
Oh yes, appreciate.
You remember? Here's someone else here who's watching through the chats again. I just want to try to reach out to everybody. I know this sounds a little bit kind of off topic of you. Do you remember that person, Erin, that we met at the Gill House last year? She's watching the show right now. Of course, she's asking if we're going to be on every week. Erin, yes, we will be on every week. And Don, why don't you give the info so everybody knows when they could tune in?
You can tune in every Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Awesome. And if anybody happens to live on the East or West Coast, I mean, we'll eventually put down the time of when, because obviously East Coast is an hour ahead of us, West Coast is an hour behind us. And of course, we have people from around the world watching. So we'll make sure to put the other times on for your respective time zones. So that way you guys know when to tune in. And Don, I just got another comment here from Erin. She is saying, Don is freaking awesome, especially when it comes to bats.
Oh, Jesus. You had to bring that up.
I don't look at me. I'm just reading what she's saying, but either way, she says, awesome. I can't wait. I'll be tuning in. So this whole thing with bats, we'll talk about that later.
That's another story for another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeremy York says you need a show logo too. Yes, I've been trying to come up with a logo for this. I have yet to figure that out, but bear with me. I will create one. Yeah.
Again, you guys have ideas for a name, or if Don, this is just an idea too for for future episodes. If you guys have any ideas or requests of us wanting to talk about certain horror films and stuff, well, honestly, because I'm only a co-host, feel free to message Don and see if that's something that if you guys want us to talk about, we'll be more than happy to do so. I don't want to make it look like I'm taking over things, but I just wanted to give that idea for you, Don.
Oh yeah, I'm all open to it.
Yeah. So we're open to any type of conversation for our horror discussions, but yeah, this is. I don't know about you, Don. I think this has been a great show for you.
Yeah, been having fun with it. Oh, here, if you're okay with it, Don, I'll put a snippet of your show on TikTok. Yep, yep, of course.
Don, also, One
Yes.
other question I had, because obviously some of the folks here don't know about your YouTube channel. Can you tell very quickly just a little bit about your YouTube channel, so if they want to see your movie reactions, they could follow and subscribe to you?
Yeah. Well, they're not like, well, they're movie trailer
Well,
reactions.
movie trailers, excuse me.
Yeah, but I do reaction. I have done reactions to like other types of videos, like compilations, like try not to laugh compilations and music videos. Which hardest thing for me to do is music videos, because a lot of them I get requests all the time for a music video, but the problem is some of them get taken down from copyright and get blocked.
I
And
know.
I know it's like
It's crazy nowadays with all we. That's why we're always constantly battling
yeah.
stuff with copyright issues.
Yeah, that's why I've had a hard time doing like Avril Lavigne like reaction videos. That's one of the things I get requests for all the time. And
Right.
and I hate disappointing my viewers like this, but at the same time, it's like if I make it and I put it out, it gets taken down, or not taken down, but blocked.
Right.
It just frustrates me to the core. It's like I'm failing to deliver what my fans want.
Aaron just said through here she'll have to check out your YouTube for sure. And Billy was asking this question. Can you send the link to your Facebook?
Sure, Billy. I can do that.
Okay. Well, the only other thing if there was anything you want me to bring up quickly, there is this I was going to play for you just before we end the show. Hang on. Let me turn up the volume quickly.
I know it, man.
It was by Jill's request. No copyright intended.
I can never get sick of that.
Oh, it's so 80s.
Oh, I love that sound. Love that song.
An awesome introduction nowadays, how they present it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so hope everybody enjoyed our discussion on the first season of Stranger Things. Amazing show. Cannot wait to do another one of these, focusing on season 2. That won't be that won't be next week, but let's see.
That's right. You can't do. You're unavailable for next Tuesday, right?
Oh wait, actually.
Wait. Was it the following week?
The following on the 2026th. Yeah, the 26th I won't be available.
26th. Okay.
Yeah, the 12th where we will focus on a different topic, but on the 19th is when we'll focus on season 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to kind of go make it like this back and forth kind of a thing.
And as time goes by, guys, in case you guys don't know, because obviously we want to just make this, we're going to do this for the first couple episodes, but eventually, because I think someone was asking if there's going to be ever guests or something like that. We're going to have eventually guests, but it's just going to be mostly people we know personally, like, local friends of ours who I know some of which we're watching earlier today. And then eventually we're also going to be having show hosts from some of the other shows on the network if they want to join to be part of the conversation. But for now, it's just going to be me and Don. So, you got another good compliment here from Jeremy, Don.
Good show. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Jeremy.
Let's see. And then from the comments, I'm just taking one last final shout out for those that didn't show up in the comments. Jeremy just said he'll do the Halloween episodes. We'll have to make sure to bring him on for that one.
Oh yeah. I'm
anyways
for it, because this right here, my 4th favorite horror film right there.
The immortal classic.
Oh yeah. I went to the same school as the man who directed this, John Carpenter, Western Kentucky University.
That was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, right?
Yep, Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's the town he was born and raised in. So, and I will mention this: he actually, if you pay attention to the certain films like Halloween and The Fog, there are certain streets mentioned in that named after the streets in Bowling Green. Like
that's right, yeah.
Clay Street, Scottsville Road. Scottsville Road he mentioned in Halloween 2. Or not?
Oh, okay, interesting.
Not him. One of the dispatchers, and that scene where Charles Cyphers and was driving alongside with Donald Pleasance. They were talking about dispatcher said something being on Scottsville Road. So,
oh wow,
yeah. It's nice that he throws that in there. Oh, hold on, wait.
Oh, yes. I was gonna say this. If it's something involving killer clowns from outer space, Jeremy has to be a part of it because that's like his favorite movie of all time. So
that's like one of the biggest cult horror favorites of the 80s. If you just because of how silly it is.
You don't even have to ask Jeremy to be on the show for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He will be on there in a heartbeat.
I remember just seeing that when I was like a teenager, and I'm just like, wow, this movie is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but it's a cult classic though.
Oh, man.
But anyways, for the comments from here, Joshua was saying goodnight. Friends loved it. Good night, my friends loved it. And then Erin also said, she did apologize. She was late and missed most of the show, but she said that she loves seeing the both of us, and she can't wait for another episode. And of course, she said, love Halloween, one of the best. And now she's saying her favorite is Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah, that's another great one. I believe I have, up there. I have that one too. It's a great film.
It's ridiculous. It's horrible, but damn it, I loved it.
Yeah, great filmmaking right there.
All right.
So, hope everybody enjoyed our very first episode of our yet to be named horror podcast. But yeah, I can't wait to do this again. And I'll see you guys next week.
And I'll see some of you guys tomorrow night for the Nick Files. So
until next time, everybody stay safe out there. Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Have a good night.